this is from Glenn Greenwald. This is from The Intercept. Who sent this to me? Johnny sends this. What's up, Johnny? All right. A consensus emerges. Russia committed an act of war on par with Pearl Harbor and 9/11. Should the U.S. response be similar? Holy fuck. Holy fuck. That's the consensus. And you know, I wish... I know some of you guys saw the Jill Stein video, I'd imagine. We talked about it over on the Jimmy Dore show. I didn't talk about it on this show because we don't do a Monday show. But, man, was that unreal. Was that unreal? Like the smears on her that came after and what she actually said in that interview. What actually happened in that interview was she fucking told the truth. And she called on MSNBC. And MSNBC admitted to everything she threw at them. And she said, you guys failed miserably during the election. You covered Trump's empty podium. You gave him billions in free airtime. You clearly were just going after ratings. They admitted to all. They were like, yeah, you're right, but we're not in Russia. That was their rebuttal. That was their rebuttal. Well, we're not in Russia. Like, what the fuck? A major news agency just admitted that, yeah, you're right. We're failing miserably. We're a compromised beyond repair entity that is doing a great disservice to the American people every day we are in existence. Every day that MSNBC exists, every day that CNN exists, every day that Fox News exists, a disservice is being done to this country. And they don't even care, as Marcelo points out, they don't even give a shit. And they'll openly admit to it. And what are the headlines? The headlines are Jill Stein loses her shit. She didn't, by the way. She didn't, by the way. She fucking explained to them what was going on. And she kept a smile on her face. I give her credit for not saying to that reporter, this is the dumbest fucking shit I ever had to talk about in my life. Oh, my God. And I'm not saying Jill Stein's perfect. She's not. But if you watch that interview and then you see these headlines, I don't know how any rational thinking person could agree with those headlines. Could agree that that was a meltdown. What the fuck? I mean, I guess it was just clickbait. I probably shouldn't be. But, you know. In the wake of last week's indictments alleging that 13 Russian nationals and entities created fake social media accounts and they sponsor political events. And they, you know what? Does anybody know, does St. Petersburg, Russia have a Craigslist? Do they? Because I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe I need to hire 13 social media people in Russia to get me a Netflix special. I'm thinking if they can fucking sway a presidential election, they can get me a Netflix special, right? Like it's like, so I'm putting it out there. I need 13 people in Russia tweeting for me. And they control on Twitter or they can make a Facebook ad, just a Facebook ad with my dumb face. There'll be a translator. Will the English be perfect? Maybe, maybe not. It might be seen up to 300 people. So I'm thinking I need to get 13. I can't pay a lot. I'll pay you mostly in appreciation. And according to some people, I'm the reason John Ossoff lost in Georgia. Some people blame me for that, which was freaking hilarious. So I think, yeah, I'll pay you guys in throwing an election of your choice. I'll just apparently I'm only powerful enough to throw congressional one. So you tell me a district, you tell me which way you want it thrown, and I'll throw it for you. I don't know how I threw the election for John Ossoff. It wasn't me that said, hey, don't live in the district and make a really shitty commercial that talks about nothing and looks like it was made in 1995. I didn't tell him to do that. I was like, hey, have no policy ideas. You'll fucking win that way. I didn't tell him to do any of that. But somehow he lost because of me. So, you know, you pick a district. I'll throw the election however you want me to. In exchange, you get me a Netflix special. So I'll check Craigslist when this show's over. I don't know if St. Petersburg has a subsection or not, but I got to find out. Okay, so these actions not only constitute an act of war against the U.S., this is Glenn Greenwald talking about what the media has been saying, but one so grave that it is tantamount to Pearl Harbor and 9/11. Indeed, that Russia's alleged meddling is comparable to the two devastating attacks in U.S. history. This has become a virtual cliche. Yeah, this has become a xenophobic, gross, McCarthy-esque cliche. The claim that Russian meddling in the election is an act of war comparable to these events isn't brand new. John McCain said stuff like that. But in the last few days, the explosion of rhetoric has happened from politicians and journalists alike. So yeah, they're literally beating the drums for World War III. And why are they doing that? Because they don't want the status quo to be threatened. And they know that it is being threatened because they know that people are really waking up to how fucked up this system is. And they don't like that. So they'd rather have, scapegoat another entity, which for the past year and a half and counting has been Russia. And honestly, I don't know when RussiaGate's going to end. I don't know when we're going to have the Have You No Dignity ceremony moment. But I do have a theory now that I talked about on the Jimmy Dore show yesterday. I think it's going to have to be us that gives that fucking moment. I think it's going to have to be the independent media, the progressive media, that says enough's enough. This is not an investigation anymore. This is a McCarthy-esque smear. This is a fucking xenophobic psycho campaign. And we're on our way to World War III. I think it's up to us to draw that line in the sand. I don't think anyone else is. No one in power is going to do it. Nobody with power is going to do it. No one in the corporate media is going to do it. No matter how many people get fired, no one's going to do it. So, you know, some of the people that haven't come around yet to, hey, there's a difference between investigating something and hysteria, and we crossed that line a long time ago. The people that have not come around yet, we really got to try to get them to come around because it's up to us to have that moment. Otherwise, this is just going to go on indefinitely, I think. I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know when it's going to end. But hopefully it doesn't lead to World War III. And Glenn Greenwald has an article hinting that it very well could. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.